So, I'm at Starbucks. I came to get something to eat. I just dropped the girls off. I have class in a little bit, but I had a seizure yesterday. I don't suffer from seizures. It's not something that happens often. This is the second one I had. I had one last year, last August, after I went to California and I was dealing with my best friend's brother dying and everything that was happening in my family with my niece and all that. It was just so much, and then I had a seizure and I didn't know what it was. And then yesterday was just like really fucking rough, and I felt me getting weaker and weaker, but I thought it was because I didn't eat, because I haven't been eating. So I realized that I'm having a seizure. So I'm trying to text my friend, and I'm like, I text him, I'm having a seizure. And I didn't get to hit send. And all I can do was just keep saying my daughter's name, but I wasn't saying it loud enough. And then I guess she finally heard me, and she comes to me and she calls my sister, and then my sister calls my ex, and then my ex is like, I'm on the way. And he comes, and it takes him like 20 minutes to come, and I'm still seizing at this point. And it happened for, I don't know how long, but I didn't go to the hospital because last time I went to the hospital, they didn't do anything. And it seems like that every time I ask anyone for help, nobody does anything. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why is there no answers out here? Why is it that I'm always being ignored when I ask for help? But then people always want to have something to say. I literally got an email from the church yesterday after I told them what happened to my client and how traumatic and traumatizing it is for me and my client. And they're telling me about a fucking policy. Like, do you not care that this man identified himself as a assistant pastor and he wasn't? No, you guys don't care. What you care about is the fact that you guys don't want to help us. Like, oh my gosh, how are you the biggest mega church out here? My client is a freaking member at this church. He performs at this church. This is his church home. We went to God's house and we was told you can't come to God's house. Like, what the hell? So now I'm freaking having seizures and stuff because this is too much for me. And it's just like, where's my help? Who's going to help me? Who's going to help me fight? It's like I'm doing all of this by myself, and I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm going to keep fighting for him because everybody gave up on him, and I'm not going to give up on him. But everybody gives up on me, and it's like, who's going to help fight for me? I literally had a freaking seizure, and my 13-year-old had to hide the 9-year-old, tell the 9-year-old, mommy is tired. She called my sister in Louisiana, and my sister in Louisiana had to call the only person she knew who can help me. My ex-boyfriend, who is my ex-boyfriend, had to come save me. What the hell? I'm grateful that my daughter is so freaking smart, and she knew how to hold my hand together. She laid me on my side because I can't breathe any other way. She told me keep breathing, and then she tried to make jokes, and she was just making jokes the entire time, just trying to keep me happy. And I'm just so proud of her. She's just so fucking amazing. But I feel so bad because she's me, and I don't want my kids to be me. I don't want them to be strong like me. I want them to be strong like me, but I don't want them to have to be strong like me. And she just laid me on her lap until my ex got there. And then he just took off his freaking hoodie and just wrapped it around me because I was shaking. And he thought I was cold, but I started seizing again. And he's just talking to me like, open your eyes, look at me, I'm here. And it's just like, that's crazy. That freaking crazy. I hope this church I really hope that I don't have to fight you guys and go to social media and embarrass the church, because all I want is for my client to get the support that he needs. Then he texts me like, please, if you make this go viral, can you not mention my name? This is a traumatic experience. And I can't even let him know that it's fucking causing me seizures and stuff. That is so much freaking trauma that I keep having flashbacks of me holding this man, telling him he's not gonna die. Like, what about me? Does anybody care about me? Does anybody care that I had to hold this man and protect him with my body and tell him that they're not going to kill him because a fake assistant pastor? And then I don't even know if the pastor of the church knows what's going on. I would hate to think that someone that God appointed to be a leader of freaking millions, hundreds, however many people go to his church, that he's in charge and he doesn't care about the fact that the police was called on a freaking psychology student and a mental patient because a fake assistant pastor thought something sexual was happening. At no point did he see when he saw my client run out and drop to the floor and me grab him and hug him. Why didn't you step out of your ego and say, oh, what's going on? Let me call the paramedics. Let me call someone to help. You called the police and the police harassed us and told us they was going to arrest us. They didn't call the ambulance. They didn't call the mental health team. They didn't call anyone. They threatened us. What the frick? I know God doesn't stand for that. Not the God that I serve. Not the God that I've been praying to. Not the God that's telling me to keep fighting. God, you want me to fight your children at this church? Wow, God, that's great. I'm going to do it because I'm going to stand up for my client. I'm going to stand up for myself. Whether anybody wants to help me or not, I'm going to always be there for myself and my client. But what the heck? I had a seizure and my 13-year-old had to hold my head together. It's just, I really hate everybody. This is why people have no faith in the church, no faith in humanity, and I still have to serve God, even though you're pretending to serve God and you're not. And I still have to know that he's real. How do you want me to know that he's real when I went to his house to speak to his son to help me with my client? And it's just that crazy. Good thing I'm smart enough to know that that's not God and God doesn't stand for that. I'm frustrated. I'm scared. I feel alone. I feel attacked. I don't feel support. I don't feel love. I don't feel encouragement. I don't feel anything that represents goodness of God. I feel resilient. And I know that God is always with me, so I'm going to keep going. But oh my gosh, you want me to fight a whole freaking mega church? Like, come on now, God. Are you serious? This is really, really, really freaking crazy. It gives me flashbacks to when I was a foster child. And my foster father was the pastor. And the pastor I had a boyfriend and my boyfriend got arrested. And then ever since then I just fell into this dark hole because it was like a really bad experience for me. And then the pastor cornered me when I had my niece. It's about 17 years ago. I had my niece. And he cornered me in a room when I just turned 18. And he told me that he had desires to eat me. So I got my niece. I grabbed her diaper bag and I left. And I called the only person I knew who can help me. I called his fucking wife. Because I'm a foster kid. What I'm going to do? Call my mom, my dad? No, that's not how it works. You call who's supposed to protect you. I called the pastor's wife, my foster brother, and she told me to go home. And she'll handle it when she gets home. You want me to go home so your husband can eat me while I hold my niece? Is that what you want? So I called somebody else to come get me. And later on down the line, it came to find out that the pastor had a history of hitting on young, naive, weak women, girls like me. And a lot of people believed me, but at the end of the day, you don't stand up for a foster child who doesn't have parents. That's not the type of girl you fight for. So nobody cared. And everybody just called me all kind of hoes and stuff. And it was just like, I wasn't even nasty. Like, I wasn't even like, I've never been promiscuous. I've never been any of the things that people said about me. I've always been a fucking good girl. And the church just dragged me. Now God wants me to fight this church because I didn't stand up to myself then. But I was a kid, so of course I didn't know how to. And now at 30 freaking 4, I know how to. And I'm going to. Man, but trauma hits everybody and mental health is real.